So good afternoon, everybody. I know it's always difficult to have the first presentation after lunch, but hopefully I'll try and keep it, short and sweet. I'm not a technical person like many of my co-presenters. I'm more from the business development side. So let's take it from there. So just before we proceed, I'll just like to give you a 1-minute background on what the Wireless Broadband Alliance is and what do we do. So basically, we are an international industry and trade organization which was formed in 2003 by the telecom operators. So a lot of our members, 130 plus members, which we have comprise of the top 7 mobile operators in the globe, fixed line operators, service providers, Wi-Fi service providers, aggregators, as well as a lot of technology companies, both large technology companies and upcoming and small startups and software companies as well. Yeah. So basically, what do? We focus on 4 major areas, basically, which is carrier Wi-Fi services, the next generation wireless, Internet of Things, and connected cities. Yeah. And amongst this, we have various programs. We run various projects throughout the year. We take up 12 to 13 key projects in a year which we focus upon, and these projects are basically managed by our members. They're members led, and some of the key projects which we are doing, especially for this year, I'm looking into Wi-Fi specific programs, is the best practices in Wi-Fi deployment, including for enterprise, in-home and in-flight, Wi-Fi security practices, and we're also doing a program for the 802.11ax deployment end-to-end, which no other association in the world is doing. And we're doing programs for the role of Wi-Fi in 5G, unlicensed versus meets licensed programs. But what I want to talk about today, so these are some of our members. If you see, our board comprises of AT&T, Boingo, BT, Cisco, Comcast, Intel, KT, Liberty Global, Docomo, and Orange. And we have our operator members, and we have our technology provider members, which is the who's and who's of the world here. And from India also, we have members like CDOT, BSNL, Reliance Jio, Tatas, who are our members here. And a lot of smaller companies like Microsense, AMH, Firefly Networks, Sterlite Technologies. These are all our members from India. So basically, one of the programs which I want to focus upon for today's summit is WBA's flagship program, which is the next generation Wi-Fi hotspot or NGH Hotspot 2.0 program, which is based upon Wi-Fi Alliance's Passpoint certified access points here. So we work very closely with the Wi-Fi Alliance. We work very closely with the GSMA Association of the Globe, and to basically come out with, to make the Wi-Fi experience absolutely seamless, secure, and interoperable like the cellular experience here. So this program started almost 7 to 8 years back, and all these programs are done by our members. It was led by a large team of telecom operators and technology providers, including people like Cisco and Intel, etc. And the objective was to, how do we make the Wi-Fi experience as seamless as the cellular experience? So wherever a person goes, or somebody from India goes to, say, London or Singapore, or somebody from London and Singapore comes to India, he should be automatically be able to authenticate whichever carrier he is from, whether I'm from Airtel or I'm from Idea or I'm from Reliance. I should be able to get authenticated whenever I go to Singapore, and that operator over there should be able to recognize me, and I should be connected automatically to their Wi-Fi network without any glitches, without any hang-ups, without any support, and I should be able to surf as seamlessly as ever. So that is what, in a nutshell, is the next generation Wi-Fi Hotspot 2.0 program here. So that's what I explained. NGH is the WBA program that makes the process of finding and gaining access and roaming to Wi-Fi network absolutely seamless experience here. Now, of course, there is the catch over here. Of course, all the certifications which are happening from Wi-Fi Alliance, all the new access points or mobile devices which are coming through are Passpoint certified. But of course, there are still some old devices. There are still some, old uh, equipments which are still not PassPoint certified. For that, we have a small application which you need to download, but for the devices and the equipment which are already PassPoint certified by Wi-Fi Alliance, nothing has to be done. It's a seamless experience. So that's what I talked about. That's what we want to give, a cellular-like secure Wi-Fi roaming experience with the next generation Wi-Fi hotspots here. So what happens today that hotspots are discovered manually, these are proprietary solutions. People are trying to fix things together and trying to make one solution talk to another through complicated programs and algorithms, and then you have to do your passport authentication by sending an SMS, and then sometimes you get the SMS, sometimes you don't. And for the tourists, it's absolutely impossible to get the, when I talk about tourists, I'm talking about international tourists. In fact, just recently, there was a big article in the paper. We talked about, how international tourists are not able to get Wi-Fi in our Indian airports or in the Indian railway stations because the SMS authentication is not supported. Whereas if you go to other countries like London, Singapore, Barcelona, anywhere, you automatically get connected here. So that is the problem, and we really are we were trying to work with TRAI and tell them that they need to look at the NGH program, but I think TRAI has its own agenda. So basically, this entire program is based upon a stack of software which was developed by the WBA members called RIX, which is the Wireless Roaming Intermediary Exchange. This is a small snapshot of what the RIX does, and the RIX comprises of various components. It specifies guidelines for roaming interconnect, radius connectivity, the various sessions, and then of course it does all the inter-tariff movements and inter-roaming movements, and then it does the financial clearing, any kind of financial clearing, both coupon-based as well as PayPal-based, as well as credit card, debit card-based, and everything is there. Yeah. So you have already a ready-made solution which is already working and being deployed, and we are running programs for intercompliancy programs. A lot of more than 100 operators across the globe have already adopted this program, and this NGH is now running live in more than 30 countries across the globe here. We are still working with the Indian operators and trying to convince them, but the Indian operators, as you all know, have been slow to adopt Wi-Fi per se. So this is going to be the next step. But the good point is, yes, that now some of the Indian operators are looking at the Wi-Fi story seriously, and especially players like Reliance and players like Tata's, and even Airtel for that matter is now seriously looking at Wi-Fi. Till now, they were looking at Wi-Fi as a kind of a competing technology, not realizing that it's more of a complementary technology, and it basically provides a seamless experience to their consumers, and basically helps in generating more revenue for the operators here. So we also have a lot of smart city programs which are going on. We also have the BharatNet program, which talks about connecting all the villages through Wi-Fi. So here is one ready-made solution which is already there, already working. Nobody has to reinvent the wheel. It's very cost effective. Everything is ready, and that is the thing which we are trying to push, to the government and to the operators, that that's the way forward here. So like I said, this program started in 2011, and where we did the first trials, and then in 2015-16 it became a kind of more mainstream, and we started working with the GSMA in a large way, and now in 2017 and beyond, we started our final phase trials, where we are working with more than 100 operators, like I mentioned. So we have, there should be 100 plus global participants. Sorry, that's a slightly older slide. And we already have a number of live commercial deployments in America, in Asia, in Europe. So where all those points, areas in red, already NGH is being deployed, NGH is being run, and it's an absolutely seamless experience here. So just to talk about the latest experience, we had the Mobile World Congress last week in Barcelona, and as you know, more than 1 lakh people attend that event, and the whole of Barcelona right from the moment you landed into the airport, the railway station, the bus stops, the streets of Barcelona, the hotels, the entire FIRA area, which is the arena where the entire Mobile World Congress is held, was completely Wi-Fi'd by NGH Live. And the moment a person landed, whether you are an Airtel user or an Idea user or a Reliance user, you automatically get connected to the Wi-Fi experience over there. Nothing has to be done, and it's an absolutely secure, authenticated Wi-Fi program here. So more than 1 lakh people use the NGH Live, in Barcelona. And I would really urge the Indian government authorities to actually go and see that, rather than trying to reinvent the wheel here. So, of course, we've been working with the device vendors, because if the device is not Passpoint certified, so along with the Wi-Fi Alliance, we're doing a lot of work with the various device vendors. So now, of course, all the new phones which are coming from Apple or Samsung, or even some of the Chinese manufacturers, we're even talking to the Indian manufacturers, they all come, with the Passport certified here. This is just a kind of a high-level architecture. I'll not like to get too much into details into the technical in the architecture side, but if anybody is interested, because basically the reason for talking about this is that the technology to deploy Wi-Fi, a seamless Wi-Fi deployment already exists, and India just needs to catch up. India just needs to make use of this technology, and that is what we are trying to put the pressure, and we're trying to work with the Indian operators that this is what needs to be done. And the good part is that the Indian operators are now responding positively to it here. I'll leave this, I'll just pass this on. So we had given a proposal to TRAI, but of course TRAI is doing something else on their own, so I won't talk about that. I'll come to the next point. Besides the next generation Wi-Fi Hotspot 2.0 program, related to that, we are also working for the operators on the carrier wireless services certification, in order, which basically means that your company, whether you are a Wi-Fi operator or you're a telecom operator, or you are a AAA player, or you're an OSS BSS player, or you are a device player, you can get certified through the WBA, and once you do that, you will be certified as WBA carrier wireless services certified equipment, or a device, or an operator, or an OSS BSS player here. So this is more like an extension to make sure that people who pass this through the certification are basically following the NGH 2.0 program here. And again, let me just give you a difference of what Wi-Fi Alliance does and what the WBA does, because this question is asked many times. So the Wi-Fi Alliance basically does the Passpoint certification only of the devices and the equipment, whereas WBA does the entire testing program end to end, including the hardware players, device player, equipment players, AP access point players, the intermediaries, whether they are Syniverse, Global Reach, Accurus Networks, the OSS BSS players like Aptilo, Sterlite, etc., and then the telecom operators who are the actual deployers of this technology here. So it's a complete end-to-end architecture for testing Wi-Fi roaming and the offload services here, which includes not just operators, it includes third-party neutral players, it includes neutral hotspot deployers, it can include a small shop owner who wants to deploy Wi-Fi. Of course, he cannot do it on his own. He has to be connected to an ISP, or he has to work in tandem with an ISP, and that is what this system allows him to do. So all ISPs, all third-party neutral Wi-Fi hotspot players, all telecom operators, and all cities which are want to deploy Wi-Fi, they are all a part of this program here. I'm just finishing it. Yeah, so this is what the certification is today available for Wi-Fi roaming services, for Wi-Fi offload, AAA authentication, and online services. So I'll just leave that. I think my time is up. Basically, it allows to make sure that the equipment and the configurations you deliver to the carrier works properly in their network and their roaming partners. So it's absolutely seamless, like a cellular experience. And that's the way Wi-Fi needs to be. It cannot be patchy. You cannot have one setup here, and then try to make them work. It will never work, whatever one might say. It will never work. So these are the test labs which are already working with us, DECRA, Cario, and Jewel, who are, and these are these operators who are working with us for the certification. Yeah. So I'll stop over here, and thank you very much. I don't know whether there's time left for any question or answers.
One short question while Manish gets ready. Yeah.
As long as it's not technical. Sorry.
Anybody has any question for Paramjit? Yeah. Okay. You can shout your question if you don't mind. We are.
He's getting the mic, I think.
Yeah.
Abhigam, you don't want to see the Wi-Fi?
On and off button it should.
Absolutely, I agree with
That's
you.
what I want to
100%.
see in my
And
Wi-Fi future.
That is what the NGH program does. It allows for absolutely seamless, secure, interoperable experience like the cellular experience, and it's already being implemented. More than 150 operators across the globe already working on it. We're trying to get the Indian operators involved. Hopefully, in the next 2 years, we'll see the more participation also from the Indian operators. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Paramjit. Thank you.